Hi everyone, I'm Anthony O'Flynn. Hope you're all doing great. Haven't had a chance to make a video for a while. I have been very busy in the garden. Obviously it's spring here now and we are busy mulching, chopping down trees, planting and preparing the garden to go to the next level. So it's very time consuming and everything goes much slower than we have hoped, but still it's moving forward in the right direction, which means we'll see the results eventually, step by step. So I've actually had something happen for the first time that's never happened in 19 years, and that's that the Art of Love Tantra workshop has actually got more single guys outnumbering single women. So we're making a special offer for single women, for two single women, to even up the numbers and balance the masculine and feminine polarity at the workshop, to actually come for half price to help incentivize two single women to book in. And you are welcome to use the code polarity at the checkout, and that will mean that you'll pay half price for the workshop. And that's only for women, of course. So if you want to know more, go to holisticyoga.net, check it out. And if you've got any queries, send us an email or a message or something. And I hope to see you at the workshop. So it's the first time it's happened. So it's really inspiring to see men taking some action and working on themselves, investing in themselves and so on, because it's well known that at many workshops, retreats and so on in the world of spirituality, personal development, women usually outnumber men dramatically. So it's a welcome surprise, but nonetheless, we want to balance the energies out at the workshop. So check that out at holisticyoga.net. At the start of the year, in my annual forecast for 2024, I said that 2024 would be the year of convergence, and that we would see that the various challenges in the current paradigm, whether it be economic, social, political, would start to converge with each other and in some ways reflect each other, so that there would be like this ongoing realization that the institutions and so on are under systemic crisis. Well, this is dramatically intensified even in the last month or two. And we can see now at an international level, and of course here in Australia, that we are experiencing many of these challenges, which is to be expected when you understand the larger cycles of time of what's actually occurring here, because we are giving birth to the new paradigm, and as a consequence, this paradigm, or the old paradigm, it is in systemic decline, it's in terminal decline. And what I see in regard to that is there's some people trying to resurrect the old paradigm, reform it and so on, and with very noble efforts and very sincere attempts to try to do some good things to heal and to transform the planet. But working with the institutions that we've got and so on makes it very problematic in that regard, because many of these institutions are not serving the collective at all. And now, as a consequence of this ongoing planetary paradigm shift, you're seeing that this systemic crisis is growing in magnitude and severity. So this is to be expected, as I forecast at the beginning of the year. But the real question is now is that what do we do with that? Because the next phase of this actually is going to be coming into awareness of the collective. And this won't be clear to probably 20% of the population, could be much better, who'll still try to believe in what they're being told, what they're being instructed to believe, and in the ways they're being instructed to be indoctrinated. And yet the overwhelming majority will see that this crisis is of a colossal magnitude and what to do. And this is what I've been referring to for perhaps a year or even 2 years now, I don't actually remember, as the experience of the cracking. And the cracking is an analogy in the sense that it becomes evident and apparent to the majority of the collective that we're in a colossal systemic crisis. And without going into all the metrics and the data, this is part of the shift as well. is that many people who have been commentating on this and trying to, wake people up and get people to see what's actually happening will also tend to, some at least, and it's shades of grey, it's nuances, not black and white, to stop commentating on these things because it's a little bit like too little too late now. So this phenomenon of the cracking is the evidence or the apparent conclusion that this paradigm is failing, and everyone can see it. This is the analogy I gave it. The cracking, in a sense, it's like ice or something like this. Like it's become apparent to everybody. This is actually in some ways a good thing, but the things that you're going to be seeing or were seeing in regard to what was considered alternative news or fringe topics will become mainstream. And the questions will start to be asked by the collective, such as why is this occurring? Why isn't the solutions coming that need it? Why is this problem being actually manufactured? Who's manufacturing this problem or these problems? And why is it that we don't seem to have any progress and any genuine solutions to all these issues? And those sort of questions will go mainstream, and they won't be really regarded as something alternative or fringe anymore, or some sort of Looney Tune theory, which means that a lot of the people in the so-called truth and movement will, in some ways, to a degree, actually, their efforts will be not as required as what it has been previously, and they will actually go on to another level of the of their own awakening, which is a good thing. But this won't be for everyone, of course. And again, it's nuances, it's shades, it's in shades. It's not black or white. But you'll see that many people do actually start to realise. I mean, they'll still need the information from key individuals and key topics to actually join the dots, because that's really what's missing with a lot of these topics. And you can even see now some of the scandals that are going mainstream with the celebrities, that these things are starting to become clear to everybody, even people who consume mainstream media as their source of information and truth, that there is a lot of questions that are being asked and not really many answers being given. So this is the effect of the cracking, which there is not really one event specifically that will trigger this. I think it's just a cascade or turning of the tide, but it is nonetheless a tsunami of events and data and news and information coming out that really will actually force people to challenge their worldview, the narrative that they're being fed, and this will lead to this kind of, it's going to be like a kind of shocking type thing, not necessarily one particular topic, but the overall experience. And people will be left questioning what sort of society they've been living in all these years and grown up in and contributing to, and many existential questions will be asked. And I think that this will be the catalyst for the next shift in the collective, which at this point, to be honest, I don't actually really feel that there was the awakening was that dramatic in retrospect over the whole events of 2020 and beyond, that it was big, but it wasn't actually kind of as colossal as perhaps it could have been, in the sense that people just want things to go back to, quote, normal. And that really is a reflection of wanting to maintain the status quo. And I appreciate that many people want to have that and want to just be left alone to live their life and everything. But the cosmic game has a different agenda, and that's really where a lot of these things are going. I mean, people are speaking out about these topics and trying to warn people about what's coming, but it seems to be falling largely on deaf ears. And it's really a question, largely, but not completely at this stage, of preaching to the choir. And I think that at this point, it really is time to circle the wagons and take the action that you feel necessary to thrive during this transition. And this isn't really a pessimistic approach, but there is going to be, and already has been, significant disruptions to our way of life and how we do things, which it's going to dramatically intensify. So the cracking, as I see it, will be in 2025. It's already started. I mean, it's not one day, 1 week, 1 month to the next, but it will basically, by the end of 2025, wow, it's going to be exciting to see where this goes, because it's inevitable what is occurring now, but the intensification of it, like this kind of Uranian influence of this shock kind of electricity, like in the sense that there are sort of sudden and unexpected breakthroughs with this, will dramatically accelerate the demise of the current paradigm, and also people will really start to look at solutions, which of course always starts with ourselves. And this phenomenon coming beyond this is another phenomenon that I have intuitively understood to be coming, called the glowing, and also the revelations of the UAP phenomenon, which is really going to start to accelerate. I'll save all that info for another video, but it's going to catch people by surprise, I would say, at this point. But I'm not giving a specific date or something like that for it, because these things are not set in stone, and times and so on can fluctuate. But there is something coming down the pipeline that's going to be pretty major in the second half of this decade, and at that point there'll be no turning back. We will be going headfirst into the new paradigm, which is exciting to be part of. So wishing you all well, and thanks for watching. We live in epic times.